If you're a man over 60, this message is for you. The changes you're noticing, fading energy, a growing distance in your marriage, or a quiet erosion of purpose, aren't just inevitable parts of aging. They're signals that your health, relationships, and sense of self need focused attention. I'm Dr. James Carter, a urologist and men's health expert with over 30 years of experience helping men like you, husbands, fathers, veterans, and grandfathers, reclaim their vitality and connection. I've sat with thousands of men who share a common goal: to feel alive, valued, and deeply connected to those they love, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. In this video, I'll guide you through 7 essential factors every man over 60 needs to understand to restore their health, rekindle their relationships, and live with joy and purpose. These aren't magic pills or fleeting promises. They're practical, science-backed strategies that address your body, mind, and marriage holistically. They're the same approaches I've used to help men not only extend their lifespan, but enrich their quality of life, rebuild confidence, and strengthen the bonds that matter most. If this resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0. Your feedback helps me create content that serves you better. Subscribe and turn on notifications to receive more insights designed to help you feel stronger, live fuller, and love deeper. Let's begin with the foundation of vitality, a factor that quietly shapes how you feel every day, but is rarely discussed openly. Testosterone, the engine of energy and connection. Testosterone is more than just a hormone. It's the driving force behind your energy, confidence, mood, and emotional connection. I met Mark, a 66-year-old retired mechanic, who walked into my office looking defeated. "Dr. Carter, I'm tired all the time. I snap at little things, and my wife says I'm not the man she married," he confessed. His story is one I've heard countless times. Starting around age 30, testosterone levels begin to decline gradually, but after 60, the drop can become significant, impacting your focus, drive, and ability to engage fully with life and your partner. Low testosterone doesn't just affect your body, it strains your relationships. When you're drained or irritable, it's hard to be present, show affection, or initiate meaningful moments with your spouse. Mark's marriage wasn't failing because of a lack of love, but because he no longer felt like himself. The good news is that this is often reversible. Through medically supervised approaches, such as improving sleep quality, incorporating strength training, eating nutrient-dense foods like lean proteins and healthy fats, or, when appropriate, testosterone replacement therapy, men can reclaim their spark. Mark started with small changes: better sleep hygiene, regular walks, and a tailored hormone plan. Within 4 months, he was sleeping soundly, joking with his wife, and holding her hand again. "She says I'm the man she fell in love with," he told me, his eyes bright. To start, ask your doctor for a testosterone check during your next visit. Simple blood tests can reveal if your levels are low, and from there you can explore options like diet, think avocados, nuts, and fish, exercise, focus on resistance training, or medical interventions. Addressing testosterone isn't just about physical health, it's about rediscovering the confidence to connect deeply with those you love. But hormones are only one piece of the puzzle. Another critical factor, often overlooked, can transform how you move, feel, and show up in your relationships. Pelvic floor strength, your hidden source of confidence. Most men have never heard of pelvic floor muscles, but these unsung heroes are vital to your vitality. These muscles support your bladder, bowels, and sexual function, and when they weaken, they can lead to issues like urinary leaks, reduced intimacy, or even lower back pain, problems that erode confidence and independence. I worked with Stephen, a 71-year-old former carpenter who was humiliated by frequent leaks that forced him to plan his days around restroom access. "I don't feel like a man anymore," he admitted quietly, his gaze fixed on the floor. No one teaches men about pelvic floor health, but it's a game changer. Weak pelvic floor muscles can stem from aging, inactivity, or even surgery, but strengthening them is straightforward and doesn't require medication. Simple exercises like Kegels, Contracting and relaxing the muscles you'd use to stop urination for 5 to 10 seconds, 10-15 times a day, can yield results in weeks. I guided Stephen through a routine, recommending he practice while sitting or lying down to focus on form. After 3 months, he could enjoy long walks without worry, and his confidence soared. Even better, he and his wife rediscovered intimacy they thought was gone forever. "I feel in control again," he said, standing taller. To try this, start with 5-minute daily sessions, gradually increasing as you build strength. Consult a physical therapist if you need guidance on technique. Strong pelvic floor muscles don't just restore physical control. They rebuild your sense of self, letting you engage with life and your partner with assurance. But physical strength relies on another system that quietly powers everything from stamina to intimacy. Cardiovascular health, the heartbeat of intimacy. Your heart is the engine of your health, and its strength directly impacts your relationships. I met Thomas, a 68-year-old retired accountant, who came to me concerned about intimacy issues. "Things just aren't working anymore, Dr. Carter," he said, assuming it was simply age. But after running tests, we discovered early signs of cardiovascular trouble. Erectile dysfunction is often the first warning of heart disease because the blood vessels in the penis are smaller than those in the heart, making them more sensitive to reduced blood flow. This isn't about embarrassment. It's about understanding your body's signals. A strong cardiovascular system improves energy, mental clarity, and physical performance, including intimacy. Thomas started with practical steps: 20-minute daily walks, a diet rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and lean proteins like salmon, and medication to manage his blood pressure. I also recommended stress reduction techniques like deep breathing or meditation to support heart health. 6 months later, Thomas reported not only better performance with his wife, but also more energy, better sleep, and a renewed sense of youth. "I'm laughing again," he said, "and my wife loves it." To protect your heart, aim for 150 minutes of moderate exercise weekly. Brisk walking counts. Reduce processed foods, and monitor blood pressure regularly. Your heart and your marriage are deeply connected. When blood flows freely, so does connection. But health isn't just about your body. Another factor can quietly erode your joy and distance you from your partner, even if everything seems fine on the surface. Mental health, breaking the silence for closeness. Mental health is often the last thing men address, yet it's a cornerstone of a fulfilling life. I worked with Edward, a 70-year-old former engineer whose blood work was fine but whose spirit was dim. "I feel empty, like I'm just going through the motions," he told me. He and his wife lived under the same roof but felt miles apart, not because of conflict, but because of unspoken emotional weight. Men are conditioned to stay silent, to push through pain, but this silence builds walls. Over time, unaddressed stress, anxiety, or depression can turn a warm marriage into a quiet coexistence, like roommates sharing a space. Edward's turning point came when he began counseling and started talking to his wife about his fears, of aging, of feeling irrelevant. That vulnerability wasn't weakness, it was courage. He also joined a men's support group at his community center, where sharing stories with peers helped him feel less alone. Within months, he was more present, affectionate, and engaged. "My wife says she feels seen again," he shared. Mental health care doesn't always mean therapy. It can be as simple as journaling, confiding in a trusted friend, or opening up to your spouse. Try setting aside 10 minutes daily to reflect on your emotions or talk with your partner about your day, including the highs and lows. If you're struggling, don't hesitate to consult a counselor or therapist. Emotional health restores your ability to connect deeply, not just physically but emotionally, bringing warmth back to your marriage. But true connection requires more than emotional openness. It demands a skill many overlook. Communication, the lifeline of love. Communication is the heartbeat of any relationship, yet it's often neglected. I met Richard, 74, married for 48 years, who felt a growing chasm between him and his wife. "We're polite, but we don't really talk anymore," he said, his voice cracking. "It's like we're living separate lives in the same house." That distance didn't come from one big fight, but from years of letting small things go unsaid. Fears, needs, or even simple gratitude. Nobody outgrows the need to be heard, appreciated, or loved out loud. Communication isn't about grand declarations. It's about small, honest moments. Asking, "How was your day?" and truly listening or saying, "I've been feeling off and I don't want to shut you out," can rebuild bridges. Richard and his wife started a weekly ritual. Sunday mornings with coffee, phones off, just talking. They shared memories, worries, and dreams. After 3 months, Richard said, "We laugh together again. It's like we're rediscovering each other." I recommended they try a gratitude check-in, where each shares one thing they appreciate about the other daily. This simple act softened their interactions, turning routine into romance. To start, commit to one distraction-free conversation a week with your partner. Share something real, a fear, a hope, or a memory. Communication builds trust, softens tension, and brings back the small touches and shared laughter that define a thriving marriage. But connection needs more than words. It requires a sense of direction and meaning. Purpose, the spark of longevity. Purpose is the secret ingredient to a vibrant, fulfilling life. I met William, a 76-year-old retired electrician and widower who felt adrift after losing his wife and career. "I'm not sick, but I'm not really living," he said. Without a reason to get up each morning, his health began to slip. Higher blood pressure, less energy, and a sense of disconnection. Purpose doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. For William, it was volunteering at a community center, fixing appliances for neighbors. For others, it might be mentoring young people, gardening, helping with grandkids, or being fully present for their spouse in ways they couldn't during busy career years. When William found purpose, his entire demeanor changed. His posture lifted, his smile returned, and his health markers, like blood pressure, improved. "I feel needed again," he said. Research shows that men with a sense of purpose live longer and report higher life satisfaction. To find yours, reflect on what makes you feel useful. Perhaps teaching a skill, volunteering at a local shelter, or simply being a rock for your family. Start small, dedicate an hour a week to an activity that matters to you. Purpose fuels your spirit, and that energy strengthens your health and relationships. But purpose and health depend on one final piece: seeking the right support. Medical guidance. Stop guessing, start healing. Too many men avoid medical care, hoping issues like fatigue, low libido, or emotional burnout will resolve themselves. I met Charles, a 69-year-old retired firefighter, proud and private, who hadn't seen a doctor in nearly a decade. "I thought I could tough it out," he said, but his energy was gone. Intimacy had faded, and he woke up nightly feeling something was wrong. Waiting doesn't fix problems. It steals time, connection, and joy. Charles's story broke my heart because he carried his struggles silently for too long, believing asking for help was weakness. Modern medicine offers solutions for low testosterone, prostate issues, fatigue, and even emotional burnout, but only if you act. Charles got a comprehensive checkup, and we crafted a plan. Dietary changes to boost energy, medication for blood pressure, and counseling to address stress. 6 months later, he walked in smiling. "My wife noticed the change before I did," he said. "A doctor who sees the whole you, body, mind, and emotions, can make all the difference. Don't guess about your health. Schedule an annual exam, ask about screenings for prostate, heart, or hormone health, and be honest about your symptoms. You weren't meant to face this alone, and you don't have to." Conclusion: your health is your legacy. Your health is the foundation of everything you cherish: your family, your marriage, your legacy. These 7 factors: testosterone, pelvic strength, cardiovascular health, mental well-being, communication, purpose, and medical guidance, are not just medical checklists. They're pathways to a life that doesn't just endure but thrives. I've seen men transform with small, courageous steps: a doctor's visit, a morning walk, an honest conversation with their spouse, or a moment of looking in the mirror and saying, "I still matter." Your age doesn't define you, your choices do. You've built a life, raised families, overcome challenges, and you're not done yet. The people who love you are waiting for the best version of you, the one who laughs, loves, and lives fully. Start Start today with one step. Call your doctor, hold your partner's hand, or commit to a purpose that lights you up. Your story isn't over, and the next chapter can be your best yet.